get absorbed in, and you are Sonic.
What's up, everybody? I'm Taylor Olmstead, and I want to welcome you back to No Repeat, a podcast where we pick 3 songs every week with no repeats and no do-overs to create a perfect playlist for every occasion life throws at you. Joining me are my co-hosts, Tyler Reed.
What Taylor really means is, hey everybody, welcome to Sean's Romance Love Corner. Today, we're analyzing dinner etiquette.
And DC's sweetheart, Sean Evans.
The important part is napkin placement.
You ain't gonna get her horny if you don't put the napkins in just the right place.
It goes on your lap, not tucked into your shirt.
Yeah, figure it out.
Lobster bibs are very important.
All right, well, Tyler, since you alluded to it, why don't you tell us what the challenge was?
What's up, babies? This week, you had to find the perfect song for a romantic dinner, submitted by Ivan Glasgow.
So I'm just gonna hijack this one and say, when you talk about your song, just go ahead and talk about how you picked it, but I want to spend some time talking about what is probably some better questions, and then we'll just go right into the songs. So, what is the most unromantic thing to eat for a romantic dinner? Like, what, for our audience out there, what should they not eat, in your opinion, on a romantic dinner?
I would say anything that involves getting your hands messy. So, ribs are out, wings are out, fried chicken probably out. Also, anything on a stick, so that means corn dogs. No. Possible exception for fondue, but only because it's temporarily on a stick.
What about a pre-dinner charcuterie?
Acceptable.
Okay.
I think that's fair game. I was going to say crabs. Anything that requires you to, like, shuck or crack something.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see you eating peanuts, like at the ballpark before we're like...
Yeah, this isn't a Texas Roadhouse situation. If you're throwing anything on the ground, you're doing romantic dinner wrong.
Extra side note, no peanuts. Also, while we're at it, no crawdads probably are also out.
Oh, you're not going to sucking stuff out of a shell?
Yeah, I think that gets rid of most shellfish in general, although possible allowances for oysters and mussels, I guess.
I think if you get a lobster, you'll be okay. I don't think about cracking the claws, but I think if you get just the tail. All right, so what's the worst music to listen to? Like, what's the turn off?
Ska.
Bleed by Meshuggah.
All right. Basic answers out of the way.
The Smiths.
My Chemical Romance.
Anything by Alanis Morissette.
Oh, what?
She has a couple of love songs.
I put a lot on there.
Yeah, but you're not thinking about the love songs when you listen to her on a first date.
The B-52s.
Love Shack comes on, you're not rocking to that?
No, I don't think so.
Love Rock Lobster. Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, probably not romantic dinner music. The good old BNL.
Fast food, acceptable first date.
I don't know about fast food first date. I mean...
Not fast casual, fast food.
Okay, so you're thinking like national chain fast food like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
It's got to feel right. I feel like you could do it.
I mean, I think the exception to that is if there's like a regional fast food situation, right? So like here in Atlanta, we have the Varsity, which is the world's largest drive-in, and it's right in the heart of downtown, and you can see the skyline from where you sit and eat, and it's kind of like an Atlanta institution. And I feel like if you're going to the Varsity and you're getting the orange milkshake thing that's like their specialty and you're looking at the skyline, sure, okay, that's like an acceptable-ish fast food first date, but not your basic for like McDonald's, Arby's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, that kind of thing. Like, no.
No one's taking their first date to Arby's.
They got the meats.
Why not?
Dude.
They got the meats. For sandwiches.
You guys are so gross.
For sandwiches, John.
Unnecessary clarification there, Taylor. I don't think anyone needed that.
What about fast casual?
Well, I think the more important question is a pizza window. Good.
Pizza window, as in walk up, get pizza, walk away?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. If you're like in
No.
a downtown area? No? Okay. So now, I'm only...
Fast casual, I'm going to say maybe. It depends on the fast casual, because some of them are more classy than others, right? So, like, we have a fast casual pizza chain down here that does, like, the personal, like, 10-inch pizzas, but they have, like, table service and a full bar. They're, like, toeing the line of being a real restaurant, and I feel like that could be acceptable. Or, like, one of these nouveau burger places where you can get like 7 different kinds of protein and like 35 different toppings. I'm okay with that, but not Chipotle.
Sean's qualifier was this was a first date, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's no longer, we're throwing romanticism out the window.
Well, still, I think even for a romantic dinner, you could do a romantic-ish dinner at fast casual, but it's not going to be that romantic because it's going to be loud.
Well, I think, see, the only reason I brought up a pizza window is because I specifically... A friend of mine who lives in Philly, she was like, a guy took me to a pizza window and we sat down on a bench at like middle of the night and it was great. It was a great experience. She's like, you might be the one.
Well, that's a little different. If you were like out somewhere else and you decided you wanted food and so you wandered up to the pizza window, yeah, that's different. That's allowed because it's not the central part of the evening.
That's fair. Okay, that's an important qualifier.
Spin off, but kind of in the same tangent. You've been dating for 1.5 years. Fast casual, acceptable romantic date night.
I feel like the battleground is the word romantic. I think it's not in the traditional sense. Like it's not like flowers and roses, right? Like that's not like you're past that. I think well, I mean, you know what I mean. It's like it's not. Like if it's like just like a day of the week and you're just like going out to like if you like
I'm going to say Tyler here.
You're like okay, whatever.
I feel like fast casual can be romantic date night, but you gotta put some extra effort into it. Like it can't just be. I mean, it can't just be like going to the fast casual burger place. Like I feel like there needs to be another element to the evening. If it's like you're going to the burger place and then going for a walk in the park or something. Like you're adding something to it.
Okay.
Because that's not enough.
I guess what the thing I was trying to bury myself out of was, or pull myself out of, I feel like it depends on context, like, and especially like for us at this point in our lives, not really. I mean, like if you're in like college or you're like freshly married or like you don't have like a lot of money, you know, or it's like you have like a kid maybe and it's like this is like your only chance to like get out and you don't want to like dress up that much, you know. I feel like you could spin it that way as long as it's like maybe you don't see each other as much, maybe you have like different schedules, it's really tough to like get something going, you know. So like I feel like there's a way to make it happen, but I think it depends on the intent.
All right, last food-based question, then we'll move on to location-based questions. Heart-shaped pizza, romantic, yes or no?
I'm going to say yes.
How much did I have to pay for it? Did I make it or did someone else make it?
Oh, Tyler, never change.
I was not expecting that one. That one was...
If I made it, very good, very romantic, because I don't know how to make a pizza. I would say most people, unless they're like following like their Bon Appetit recipe, are not going to be making a good pizza. So like, if you made like an acceptable pizza, tasted all right, and was in the shape of a heart, pretty good. If someone else made it, it cost you like $50. You're like, you can hit the bricks, kid. I don't want that. Go to Pizza Hut. You're like, no, are you kidding me?
Hey, Tyler, no one out pizzas the Hut.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, best cheap date place to visit that's romantic. It's not food related. This is cheap date that is very romantic. Give our listeners a rundown. How they gonna succeed?
I mean, this is pretty dependent on like where you are located, but I would say rent a couple bikes and go to the bike trail. Pretty solid.
Nice. Tyler?
Contemporary art museum.
Oh, okay. Nice. Just look at some art.
I mean, as long as they're like actually into that sort of thing, which is a very important qualifier.
Yeah, trust me, I've learned from experience. Taking someone who's not into contemporary art to a contemporary art installation featuring live dancers is not a good way to go on a date.
Mine was in a very similar way to Taylor's, which was go to a national park and have a nice stroll and hold hands.
Also good.
It's kind of romantic, kind of, on to a more budget-friendly date. So, that last question, date that is no limits.
It's the
It's
mood,
not
baby.
an option. You love this person. What's your date night look like?
I think I've got this one. This is a real thing I actually did.
Hell yeah, dude.
Scenic biplane ride over city where you live, followed by a meal.
Damn, my life was a joke.
Seriously, you can find somebody with an open cockpit biplane in pretty much every major city. Just drive out to your local regional airport. It's not that expensive. You go for 15 minutes to a half hour, fly around the city. Totally awesome.
See, I feel like the important qualifier here is that, like, Taylor has somehow, like, mustered up all his, like, romantic energy because he's been, like, saving it up for, like, years. Just, like, he's been planning. Like, when Taylor decides, he, like, sets his mind on something, he's like, I'm doing this. And he's like, I got this. Like, just watching the shit that they do for each other, I'm like, this is the cutest thing, but boy, this is a lot of work.
Well, when you're quasi-long distance, you got to put in the work.
Right, no, that's fair.
Tyler, what's your no expenses?
I don't know. I feel like I'm so, like, low maintenance that I don't even, like, I'm like, go to a good show. Like, what's a, like, I mean, there's probably no bands playing on, like, Valentine's Day, but, like,
Joke's on you, I'm going to a punk show on Valentine's Day this year. Get wrecked.
hell yeah, dude. Find, like, a band you both really like, go to a show. I don't know. I feel like I feel like shows are a good bonding experience, especially if you both like it, and especially if you're both, like, kind of have the similar, like, kind of vibe, because it's like, if you both are, like, into, like, concert dancing, which is just kind of like a little wiggle, I mean, like, that's nice, that's fun, like, but if someone's, like, front of the crowd, back of the crowd, that one's like, I want to sit down, I want to stand, like, if there's a lot of, like, pitfalls, but I mean, it's like, if you can get someone that you can, like, soul resonance with, and you're like, this is the same person, and of course, I mean, like, you can either get, like, garbage food before or after, depending on how many drinks in it is, I don't know.
That's solid.
Or it's like you get up early, you go to a coffee shop like 2 hours away, and you spend the day in, like, a town just, like, looking at stuff. Like, I could probably go to Columbus and find, like, just some, like, stuff to, like, walk around and, like, check out and do. Like, that would be, like, that's feels like too much for me. I'm like, I don't know, that seems like a lot. But
can confirm, have done that.
Yeah.
Drove up to a little mountain town for a Saturday, had lunch, did some hiking, came back before dinner. Solid date day.
But bam.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with. Let's see, if I was gonna plan a really romantic date for my wife, what would it be? It would start with a massage. That's for sure.
Ooh, couples massage.
Yeah, probably. Money doesn't matter. Then we would go to a movie, and the reason that I would pick a movie is because there's snacking. And my wife likes snacking. She also likes to talk about movies after movies, so that's nice too. And then, to top it all off, I would actually have food delivered to our apartment. When we got there, it would be there, ready to go. So that way we could just come back and just have a romantic evening together and not have to worry about, like, talking to a waiter or doing anything else, You've already gone out, already spent time amongst people.
As two domestic house cats, you're like, please don't talk to...
You check the boxes for going out, but... You're still very introverted and private like that.
See, someone tweeted the thought that, like, I like to go to movies as a date because it gives me a long time to get over the anxiety of being there with this person. Get to, like, exist with them without having to, like, talk to them. And then, like, before
disagree.
Yeah. I said I would.
Yeah, for two reasons. First of all, there's the constant anxiety of, like, how do you interact with this person in silence, and then there's the secondary of, are they enjoying this movie? Was this the right movie? I went on a first date to First Man, the movie about Neil Armstrong going to the moon. It's a very anxiety-inducing movie, and it was not a very romantic evening. But we both kind of walked out of it like, wow. So, you have to be careful with movie dates, is all I'm saying.
That being said, go see Birds of Prey. probably a stupid movie that you'll have a great time with.
Yeah, sure, I guess. Honestly, I feel like Little Women is probably the date movie of the season, but
Okay, all right, I believe you.
let's get into some picks. All right, well, who wants to go first this week?
Oh, I'll go first.
All right, Sean, what do you have for us?
So this week I chose Norman effing Rockwell, a cover of Lana Del Rey by the Acoustic Heartstrings. Romantic dinner song, you really should just hear it in the background. It shouldn't be like, it doesn't have to be very lyrical, because I assume that you're probably talking. I also think that this song is nice and whimsical, and any excuse for me to put Lana Del Rey on this podcast would be awesome for me too. So that's how I got it on here, because I think it's nice and subtle and understated and romantic and whimsical and acoustic-y.
So where is this playing? Are you playing this? Are you expecting to hear this in a restaurant? Are you playing this at home?
No. Yeah, this is probably at a restaurant during dinner.
Sean, shut down the whole restaurant and say, "You and me, babe, we'll listen to Lana."
Yeah, all the lights dim. There's just a focus light that comes down on the stage and then just pans over to your table. And then I'm just doing karaoke.
Sean knows all the words.
Just serenading Sarah with some Lana Del Rey.
If I was on this date with Sean, I feel like my first reaction would be like, is this an acoustic cover? Is this an acoustic cover of a Lana Del Rey song? And then you'd be like, yeah, it is. And I'd be like, why?
No, I would just whisper. I'd be like, yes, it is.
Okay, and I'd say, well, why is it?
And say, because it's Lana Del Rey. Duh.
Is it because she says lots of bad words in this song?
Well, I mean, that's half of the romantic part is saying bad words, but... Come on, everything's way more romantic when you use bad words.
Right, so why didn't you...
I mean, listen. Just see which one's sexier. I love you. I love you.
No, you're
Come
right.
on. You know which one's sexier, and we're going to have to totally bleep that part out. But you know what? The second one is much sexier.
I mean, you're right. I'm not saying... So, Sean, if that's the case, why not the original then?
Because I like it when I like the acoustic undertones. It doesn't need lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as someone that also prefers instrumental, like, songs without words, foreshadowing, I don't know, I just feel like it's interesting that you chose just, like, an acoustic cover of a Lana song, because I feel like she's already pretty, for the most part, pretty understated. I feel like she doesn't necessarily demand a lot of attention if you're not, like, super, like, I feel like you put the volume down. Like, she's not, like, super, like pulling at you, which is, I mean, the good and bad part of Lana, right? Is that, she has such, like, a soft voice, so I'm just, like, I feel like I wouldn't have any problem with the original version. And I feel like my reaction would be, like, if I was on this date, I would say, why is? But that's just me. I'm not saying that's wrong. I don't think this is a bad pick. I'm just saying that's how, my reaction would probably be different. So I really want to hear what Taylor has to say then.
So my first reaction when this came in was, yeah, why not the original? But then as I was listening to it a couple of times, I'm playing the lyrics in my head mentally, because obviously I know all the words to this song. And it's not a happy love song, but when you take the words out of it and just have a guitar play the vocal melody, it sounds sweet and happy and lovely, which I think is also helping Sean's case here, because you don't really want a song that's about, like, having feelings for someone you hate at your romantic dinner, which is what this song is. But if you just take the melody of it, it is sweet and lilting and dreamlike and kind of cutesy, and I think that works.
Yeah.
My main issue with this, and it's only because I'm so familiar with the original, is that they slowed it down a little bit, and it just bothers me to feel like it needs to go a little faster. And it's not that much slower that it's a problem. but it is like a little bit distracting if you're a Lana fan and you know the song. But that being said, the guitar players on this are great. I mean, they clearly are very technically talented. It seems like they're fingerpicking most of this, which is nice. And it's just, yeah, it's really pretty and understated, and I like it.
All right, I'm going to sell this song to you right now.
All right.
So it's got all the beauty of a Lana Del Rey song, but with the subtle acousticness of Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Which is an undeniably romantic song.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you've won me over.
Yeah.
Tyler's not convinced, but that's okay.
I mean that's fine. To be fair, Sean's not going on a date with me. He's not taking me out to dinner, so like it doesn't matter what I think. I think it's interesting that it's like it's different for us as like three people that are like, this is one of our favorite artists collectively. But it's like, it's just like, I mean, Sarah's probably like, she's like, is this a Lana Del Rey? I'm like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. She's probably not like a real Lana head, so it's like for most people, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna sound good. It's gonna be great.
All right then. I guess I'll go next, if that's all right.
Okay.
So this week I chose I'd Have You Anytime by George Harrison.
Let me roll it to you. All I have is yours. All you see is mine, and I'm glad to hold you in my arms. Have you anytime?
I'd Have You Anytime is the first song off of George Harrison's first solo album after the Beatles broke up, All Things Must Pass. He co-wrote it with Bob Dylan, and it features lead guitar from Eric Clapton. This song is a powerhouse. It's a nice mid-tempo love ballad with really beautiful lyrics in the way that George Harrison was always able to write these lovely love songs that didn't get as much credit when he was making them. Like, he was never really considered the strongest songwriter in the Beatles. This record, All Things Must Pass, was kind of like the moment that people started to take him seriously. And then it just kind of faded off as his solo career went on. But I feel like this song is such a great encapsulation of how he works as a songwriter. He has these beautiful lyrics about being in love with someone, and you have a lush backing instrumental with his acoustic guitar, his electric rhythm guitar, Clapton's lead guitar, and then some strings. And all of that together just makes this very like dreamlike experience that you hear on a lot of his late Beatles work too. Songs like Something, for example. And I think that's ultimately why I picked it. Romantic dinners for me lately have mostly been cooking at home. Because as being in a relationship that has a lot of travel and long distance involved, it's kind of special for us to have an evening where we can be at home and cook dinner together and just like eat at home. And this is the kind of stuff that I play when I'm making and eating dinner at home. It's lush and it sounds good in a relatively small kitchen like mine. And it's pretty and thoughtful and romantic.
I think it's a good choice.
Thank you.
When I first heard it, I didn't really like it that much. Because the cover of the album is really, really strange with the gnomes, and George Harrison's, like, weird folk-esque thing is odd. But the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, you're right, this is a really good song. I kind of wish I wouldn't have, like, I think a lot of my first impression of it was colored by the album cover and stuff.
And that sucks when that happens. I hate that.
And my association of George Harrison with the Beatles, so I kind of expected a certain level of musicism, I guess.
Pop sensibilities.
Yeah, this is a very understated song in a way that a lot of Beatles songs aren't.
Yeah.
Like, there's not, like, I feel like there's a lot of points in a Beatles song that you can, like, pull out and be like, this is why this is a really good song. But I think kind of what we're all kind of saying is that, like, it's kind of a slow burner. And I think it's probably intentionally so, because, I mean, like, I think it's a good pick because it's kind of doesn't, I don't want to say go anywhere fast, but I mean, like, it kind of, like, it just takes, it's a nice build-up. And I don't think that it is, you know, it's not like a big rock ballad or anything, you know, it's really just, like, really strong well played guitar and just some really simple like vocals on top. And I mean, like it's just funny that it's like Taylor creeps ever closer to picking a Beatles song.
2 solo tracks so far.
The never gonna get it. Never gonna get a Beatles song. But I mean, I do think that like all the people, kind of all the vocals kind of associated with the Beatles, I think work well for like a love song or song that's about like kind of supposed to be like for like date kind of stuff. I don't know, like, or like romanticism. I think they all have just really nice, just pleasant voices, and I think since they have such like a such a positive association built up, like I feel like the people are like, oh, it's the Beatles, right? Like, ooh, you love, everyone loves the Beatles. It feels comfortable, so it brings like kind of like a comfort to it. So I think it's a good pick as well.
Awesome. All right, Tyler, that just leaves you. What do you have for us?
Great. This week I chose Fresh Orange by Blazo. So here we are again. It's another chill beat. But what I was thinking about when I picked the song is I kind of wanted something that was... I definitely want a chill beat because I feel like I want something that has some movement to it, but I don't want it to... You know, I want like a little wiggle. You know, I don't want it to be... You know, I don't want it to be too energetic. I want it to feel like a nice kind of mix of calm and energy, right? Because I feel like a romantic dinner, like it's for me, I'm never gonna be like super like sappy or like it's never gonna be like melodramatic. I feel like it's always gonna be like fun. You know, like I feel like a nice part of romance is when it can just be kind of fun, a little silly. And I think like this is a good beat that kind of mixes like, you know, it's kind of makes you move a little bit, but it's still a little chill. So I think it kind of bridges a gap of kind of like being over dramatic and being too like too chill. But anyway, I feel like I did a really deep dive into picking like a bossa nova song for this challenge, and I just couldn't do it. So, but I wanted to like capture part of that, and I think what really makes Blazo a good choice is because I feel like they use a good amount of like real instruments. It's like it's not really like a lot of sampling. At least it's not apparent sampling, right? So, you know, it's got some like digital drums and some beats and stuff like that. But I do think there's some really great piano that plays over top of that and some like accompanying sort of like sound effects on top too. And it just, I don't know, it just feels lively, feels nice. You know, it doesn't disrupt too much. So I feel like you can really talk over it and it's not going to be too big of a deal. So yeah.
This was a space that I was exploring as well, and I think you did a lot better with it than I would have. Because this kind of music is also something that I feel like lends itself well to a romantic evening. But yeah, sometimes it is either too understated or too heavy, and it's really hard to like thread that needle of finding the right song that like is there and provides atmosphere, but you can still kind of talk over it. And I think this one does a good thing for that. The thing that jumped out at me after a couple of listens is the trumpet, which is really low in the mix, but it comes in about halfway through and just adds some texture where I feel like the beat would otherwise be pretty samey, just having that same piano melody over and over and over. So it's like just those little like sprinkles of salt on top of the dish that really like elevate it to the next level. I feel like that's kind of what's going on with this beat. It's like it could have been really simple, but they're adding just enough little elements to make it feel distinct, and that's why I like it.
Oh, there it is. I was like, where is this trumpet at that you're talking about?
It's really soft.
Yeah, it's almost unnoticeable. I think that's okay. So that's one reason that this one kind of escaped me a little bit was because it is very repetitive, and it's the improvisationalism of it is very like it's so undertoned that you kind of just get this like lo-fi chill hop kind of feel to it. and it just kind of is a drone to me. And I feel like that's what kind of, if this was playing at a romantic dinner that I was at, I would think it was great because it's very unnoticeable in the same way that like I chose mine. Like I don't want it to be like, a glaring like, oh my god, this is my favorite song. Yeah, because it kind of like, kind of dings the mood a little bit. So yes, in that respect, it works really well. I'm gonna go with that, and I do like the chill hopness of it too. I think that's a very 2020 romantic dinner thing, right? To have a nice like chill hop beat going in the background. You're getting like your nice upscale bar taco kind of mood lighting. Things are done a little bit more hip.
Oh, I would be at home, baby. Oh, yeah. See, I think the important qualifier for me is also that, like, I would be making dinner, and, like, I feel like it would be inappropriate for me to play anything that I would think too hard about. I'm like, I'm gonna put it on the stereo, and I'm just gonna, like, slap the chill playlist, and whatever happens, happens. Which is maybe why I was like, oh, I don't know if I would go out of my way to find the acoustic cover of Norman Rockwell. I would just play it. I'd be like, I'm not thinking about it too much, because like I feel like that would be, I don't know, it just feels like it would be too much, but yeah, like I feel like there's something about to the casualness of just like kind of picking a playlist and just hoping, God, I sure hope this is gonna be good.
All right, now it's time for notable B-sides, and these were songs that were so close to getting to the romantic dinner, but, well, I mean, it's probably a long dinner, so you can probably get to them. Anybody got some notable B-sides? Sweeten up the deal.
So my other Beatles B-side was Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney, which is just a little too loud, but what a great love song. Mystery of Love by Sufjan Stevens from Call Me By Your Name. La Femme d'Argent by Air. And Kindness by Quiet Company.
Had Move On Up by Delvin Lamar Organ Trio. Pink and Blue by Tycho.
Ooh, good one.
Mist Beneath Your Apartment by City Girl. I know that Tycho album was not my favorite Tycho album, but it was definitely a sexy album. Synchronization by Night Tempo. On to Something by Bliss Nova. Corcovado by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Iridescent by Soften, and Show You the Way by Thundercat, featuring Kenny Loggins. Thundercat, a new artist a new to me artist that I found this afternoon. I was like, I don't have enough time to pick the one song for this, but I love this. So listen to Thundercat.
Oh yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't listened to Thundercat, get it together.
Like Sean said earlier, the album cover...
One of the best bass players alive.
The album cover really was... I was like, this seems weird. I don't want this.
Wow. I know I alluded to Jeff Buckley, Hallelujah, earlier. I think that's just a winning romantic song to have on in general. I think this is just for millennials, and you guys as millennials can tell me if I'm dead wrong in saying this. I think if you went with like a 90s greatest hit playlist, you could probably just cash in and whatever, just run that in the background. There's just something that's very romantic about that time for us right now in popular culture. So like, I think you can...
Particularly if you can find like a 90s ballads playlist.
Yeah, like it just kind of plays. But I'll just leave it at that. I think there's a lot of stuff. There's so many like nice love songs that you can play. You just go whatever it feels right for you. That's the important part.
Speaking thereof, Semisonic was on a recent episode of Song Exploder talking about Closing Time. So all you 90s kids can go hear the story behind that classic. But Tyler, if people want to take you on a romantic dinner, where can they find you?
Hey everybody. If you want to not do that, you just want to buy some stickers or whatever, you can find my design illustration work at rudepets.club. And then, of course, if you want to slide into my DMs, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter as rudepetsclub.
Sean, if people want romantic restaurant recommendations in the greater DC area from you, where can they find them?
Wow. I don't think I would go to me. I just as a call out before I move on, that like Taylor is a surprisingly awesome romantic. I did not see that one coming, but just the 3 or 4 dates that he just laid out on this show make me look like a total noob.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, but if you want to, you want me to send you some recommendations on some sweet Arlington, DC, Maryland DMV area restaurants, you can find me on the IG at Sean_Adelray.
And I guess if you want to hear about some romantic date ideas from me, you can find me on the socials as TC Olmstead. If you want to hear any of these songs that we talked about this week, they'll be on the official No Repeat playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. And we'll be back here next week with 3 more songs on another episode of No Repeat.